I sat at the large wooden desk in my home office with grim determination. After reviewing my checklist for the 10th time and making sure my plans were properly prepared, I leaned back in my chair, closed my eyes, and thought back over the past 2 weeks. Our first email exchange had occurred 12 days ago when I was traveling to Memphis on business. My email was sent to a sexy woman with the nickname Ashley. Ashley is a member of a popular, world-renowned cheater site. I was drawn to Ashley's profile. Her profile headline read, "Sweet and married, wants to explore." I am a 48-year-old married woman. I have spent over half my life being a loving wife and mother, dedicated to my family, friends, and community. Now I selfishly want to explore sex with men other than my husband. I am incredibly discreet and will only date men who will play by my rules. If you're interested, take a chance and introduce yourself. With great interest, I wrote, "Hi, my name is Mike. I'm 39, married, and want to stay married, well-educated, and have a professional career. I work as a senior project manager in the computer hardware industry and am currently overseeing a project near you. I commute to Hartford every week and will continue this schedule until the project is completed in 18 months. Physically, I am 6'1", 190 pounds with a trim and athletic build. I have short black hair and dark eyes. I am told I am a handsome man. Sexually, I tend to be dominant and like to take control. I am not looking for love. I get that at home. Instead, I am looking for rough, physical, and uninhibited sex. Like you, I am 100% discreet. I can meet in public at a location away from your hometown. This will give us the privacy you need, and we can get to know each other in a safe environment. Further, assuming we decide that we are a good match and want to begin a close friendship, I will stay at a hotel when I am in town and invite you to my room. I would love the opportunity to get to know you via email and look forward to meeting you." After sending the email, I checked a few other profiles, but found no one more interesting than Ashley. After a short visit to the nearly empty hotel bar, I went to bed and fell soundly asleep. The next day was busy. My clients in Memphis had several technical meetings scheduled, and I was on the run until the early evening. I took 2 clients out to dinner at an upscale seafood restaurant. We were able to put the busy day behind us and enjoyed dinner. I grabbed a bourbon on the rocks as I walked through the hotel lobby and took the drink to my room. After changing into gym shorts and a t-shirt, I booted up my computer. A reply from Ashley had been sent through the website to my email. The letter read, "Hi, Mike. Thanks for introducing yourself. Your letter was much more informative than most of the ones I have received. Honestly, most write, 'Want to get laid?' or something similar. Yours was refreshing. Thank you. More about me. I've been married to the same man for over 20 years. My husband works as an executive in the construction industry. He travels for business, and while he's away, and only when he's traveling, I date. I am a successful real estate agent. As usual in my industry, I have a chaotic schedule. With the right communication and planning, I can get dates during the day or early evening. I have been on this site for over a year and joined when my youngest child left for college. I admit that the combination of having an empty house, a husband who travels a lot, and a close divorced friend who brags about her many sexual exploits has given me a tendency to have affairs. I am attracted to you for several reasons. I only date married men. I adhere to the political term mutual assured destruction. I am also glad you are from out of town and have a hotel room. 3 of my past friends were local. I was constantly worried that I would run into them when I was out walking with my husband. In fact, I saw one of my boyfriends after we broke up at our local airport when I was going on vacation with hubby. Thankfully, he didn't notice me. I'm also thrilled that you're 10 years younger than me. I've never been with a man 10 years younger than me. I've gotten thousands of emails on the site over the year. I've heard that women get many more than men. I've had online relationships with over 25 men and met 8 in real life over coffee. I've only had 6 affairs if you count the 3 one-night stands. The other 3 relationships lasted several months each, and they were all exciting in different ways. I have a few questions for you. Do you currently have any other women, other than your wife? What do you dislike about online interactions with women? Is this your first romance? What do you look for in a partner? I want you to understand that we will need to get to know each other through the post. I won't jump into bed in a few days. I can also promise you that I am worth the effort. I'll look forward to further communication." I didn't want to seem pushy, So after reading Ashley's email, I turned off my computer and headed to the hotel gym. I ran on the treadmill for 30 minutes, lifted dumbbells, and did pull-ups afterward, before heading back to my room and getting into bed. The next morning at 6 o'clock, I arrived at the Memphis airport and flew home. I stopped by the office for a couple hours to take care of some urgent business. As we planned, I met my wife Bonnie at a local bistro along with longtime friend Kelly and her sex buddy of the week. Dinner and drinks were great. The company was barely tolerable. I didn't like Kelly. She was a slut who hated men. As we left the restaurant parking lot, Bonnie knelt in the front seat, leaned over the console, unzipped my pants. The ride home took a little over 30 minutes, and Bonnie spent the entire time slowly bobbing her head in my lap. Saturday, I woke up early and with a pot of coffee, headed to my home office to finish up all the end-of-the-week paperwork. I knew Bonnie would be in bed for the next few hours, so I felt safe opening my email and replying to Ashley. "Good morning, Ashley." I apologize for the delay in replying. I flew home yesterday morning, spent the afternoon at the office, and had a date with my wife in the evening. Since we are both very cautious, can we agree that we won't be upset if responses are delayed? I would hope so. To your questions, I am currently not affiliated with anyone. I've overseen 6 small projects in the last 3 months. I haven't spent much time in any city, and as a result, I haven't sought out a friend with benefits. Our group has fully completed 4 projects, and I was assigned the newest one in Hartford. The Hartford project is very extensive and requires constant on-site supervision. I will be visiting you often. In the evenings, I will have the opportunity to host a guest at the hotel on a regular basis. I started dating 7 years ago and have had a total of 16 affairs. 5 of them were one-night stands, 8 lasted a few months, and 3 went on discreetly for a year or more. What do I like the least? Liars. I've gotten into the habit of being forthright and honest. If I don't want to answer a question, I'll let you know. I won't lie. All the one-night stands included incredible sex with women seeking permanent friendship. But alas, they all disappeared after the first date. My husband has been away all day and will be home soon, so I'm going to make a deal with you. I'm sending an anonymous, faceless picture so you can get a good look at my hot old lady body. I hope you like it. The photo was very sexy and showed Ashley from the neck down. She was wearing a wet white t-shirt, similar to what girls wear to wet t-shirt competitions on spring break. The thin, almost transparent shirt clung to her hard nipples and firm, round tits. The shirt ended just above her flat stomach. Ashley's lower half of her body was covered by a tiny black thong. She looked amazing. As usual, Monday morning was busy with updates and planning meetings. I had to get everything done by the end of the day. The next morning, I was leaving town. After lunch, I closed my office door and replied to Ashley. "Wow, you are a very attractive woman. It's hot. It's freaking hot. I'm flying to Hartford tomorrow, and I should be satisfied knowing you're close and continuing your correspondence. That will be enough for today." In my first letter, I gave my general description. I am also happy to report that I exercise daily. I run 20 miles a week and lift weights every other day. I am toned and have some definition in my arms, shoulders, and chest. I'm sorry this letter is so short. Work is intense today, and I need to get to my next appointment. I've attached some pictures. 4 of the photos were very provocative. The first was from the neck down, emphasizing a gym-tightened body in sweat-wet shorts and a t-shirt. The next picture was about the same pose, but naked with an erection. The third picture showed a long, thick, erect penis between the lips of a very sexy African-American woman. The last picture showed the same woman with her lips pressed against her flat groin. I added the PS to my letter and wrote, "I too think sex in black and white is erotic." Because of my travel schedule and problems with finalizing the project, my day was filled. The next 2 days, I worked late. On those days, I didn't open my email. When I did, I found 2 emails from Ashley. She wrote to me on Monday night, "Your letters are making me horny. I really slept well. Just like your pictures of you with that sexy black woman, I kept 1 trophy picture of each of my novels. They're anonymous, but I think they're so damn hot. I stash them in a subdirectory on my work computer and sometimes look at them and masturbate when I need to come. I've attached each of the trophies. I hope they make you horny and hot for me." Attached to the letter were 6 pictures. In each one, Ashley was on all fours with another man sitting behind her. On Wednesday morning, Ashley wrote again, My mind is clouded with lust as I have been waiting for your next letter. I am going crazy knowing you are in the Hartford area. I was wondering what hotel you stay at when you come here on business. Yesterday, my company signed contracts for 3 new listings. I visited each of them to familiarize myself with the homes. As I walked through each house, I imagined that you were a potential client. I used my fingers in every bathroom in the house and touched myself thinking about having sex with you. Tell me, what do you hope our first date will be like? I took 3 very dirty pictures for you. The pictures were amazing. My guess is that Ashley set her phone camera on the dresser in the bedroom and pointed it at the bed. I was going to meet 3 co-workers at the hotel bar for a late-night drink. Before I left, I took a picture of my computer screen with the 3rd picture of Ashley on the screen. I wrote, "I can't wait to see you. I'll write a much longer letter later." After a quick drink with my team, I went back to my room. I texted Ashley, "I'm staying at the Marriott Hotel near the Convention Center in downtown Hartford. The hotel is fairly new and has 2 good restaurants and 2 bars. The parking lot is great. After 6 p.m., only guests in the lobby. The Marriott is not a hangout for locals, so it would be unusual for my partner to run into someone she knows. As a real estate agent, you can tell anyone you're meeting a client. However, if we decide to have an affair, I'll stay at any hotel you want. I can stay anywhere. Ashley, our emails have gotten very explicit. I'm glad you're excited, and I hope you're starting to think about getting together. You asked about our first date. Let me tell you about it. Our first date will be during a workday at a local coffee shop. You'll be professionally dressed for me with a button-up blouse that emphasizes your sexy breasts. I want your legs, pussy, and ass to be bare. As we sit together, we get to know each other better. In 30 minutes, we'll find out how truthful our letters were. We will also find out if there is a personal attraction. If our meeting and socializing goes as we both hope, we'll arrange to meet in my hotel room later that evening. After you give me a sex show, I will give you a key to my hotel room and we will meet there later that evening. Ashley, I expect you to be my obedient plaything. If your husband is leaving next week, let's make an appointment. When is he leaving?" While I was texting Ashley, she responded to my earlier picture and email. "You are such a sexy and exciting man. I can't wait for your next email." It was only 11 o'clock at night. I decided to leave the computer on. I expected Ashley to write again tonight. I walked around the hotel bar. Other than a few lonely businessmen, there was no one here. I ordered a bourbon for the room. By the time I got back, Ashley had responded with a short note. "Hubby is leaving on Monday. I'm so nervous, but I want to meet up so badly. Can we meet Monday at 9 in the morning? Let's meet at the Starbucks in Weathersfield. It's on Silas Dean Highway near Marshall's house. I'll get dressed like you told me to. It's going to be a great show, I promise. I can't wait till Monday night. I'll let you use my body. Wow, you're driving me crazy." I flew home on Friday and we had a normal weekend. Friday, we had dinner at a restaurant, and when we got home, we had sex. On Saturday, Bonnie and I joined another couple for a round of golf, followed by drinks and dinner. After another round of sex on Sunday morning, we headed to church and the gym. Sunday afternoon was beautiful. I grabbed a book and read for a couple hours. It was a peaceful day. It was 8:10 Monday morning when I heard Bonnie close the bathroom door. The noise pulled me away from my thoughts of the previous 2 weeks. I got up from the table and walked to the kitchen. Filling a mug of coffee, I sat down at the kitchen table. I heard the clack of Bonnie's heels as she came down the carpeted stairs and walked down the tiled hallway toward the kitchen. Bonnie was in her morning pre-coffee stupor and walked right up to the coffee pot. I watched quietly as she poured a cup and stirred in a teaspoon of sugar. She took a satisfied sip, turned around, saw me, and shrieked. "Christ!" she shrieked. "You scared the hell out of me. I thought you'd gone to the airport." I took a slow, deep sip from my mug before answering. The trip was canceled. Bonnie and I had been married for 23 years, and in that time I'd learned to read her like a book. She tried to look nonchalant, calm, and collected, but in fact she was in a panic. She walked carelessly over to the bookshelf at the end of the kitchen table. Every night for the past 15 years, Bonnie had charged her laptop and phone and put them on the bookshelf before she went to bed. When she noticed the place was empty, she asked, "Chris, what did you do with my phone and laptop?" Instead of answering, I took another sip of coffee and asked, "Why aren't you wearing panties and a bra?" "What? What the hell are you talking about?" "I'm talking about the fact that you're not wearing any underwear. Why are you naked under your blouse and skirt?" Bonnie's face began to blush as she replied, "Don't be a pervert. I'm wearing underwear." She began to slowly back out of the kitchen. Before she took 2 steps, I asked, "Why are you lying to me? How dare you accuse me of lying? What's gotten into you?" "I'm not embarrassed." "Bonnie, I see you're not wearing a bra. I've also seen you wear a skirt without panties 100 times. When you do, you ooze sexiness, just like you did this morning. I know you're not wearing panties." When she didn't respond, I said, "Just pull up your skirt and prove me wrong." Our staring contest continued. I got up from the table and headed in her direction. "Stop!" Bonnie shouted. "Bonnie!" I interrupted. "One of us is going to pull up your skirt. You can do it right now, or I'll do it. You have 2 seconds. "All right, I admit it. I'm not wearing any underwear. It's just like you said. Tonight I wanted to feel sexy. I wanted to have a naughty secret. What's wrong with that?" "There's nothing wrong with trying to feel sexy. It makes me horny." Bonnie smiled. After a few moments, I finished, "But that doesn't explain why you lied to me. I'm wondering how often you lie." "I'm not lying to you, Chris. You caught me off guard, and I was embarrassed." Bonnie thought the conversation was over, so she pointed to the bookshelf and asked again, "What did you do with my phone and laptop? I'd like to know where you're going this early in the morning." "Where the hell do you think I'm headed? I'm going to the office." She seemed alert. Returning to my seat, I took a sip of my rapidly cooling coffee and looked her in the eye and said, "Lying again." Bonnie reacted as if she'd been punched in the face. Growling like a mama bear, she said, "How? You dare? You?" "That's twice now. Twice in 5 minutes you have lied to me. I wonder again if lying to me is a common occurrence. Where the hell is my laptop and my phone? I want to get away from you before I say something I'll regret later." When I didn't answer, Bonnie screamed, "Where are my devices? I want them now." "They're locked in my safe." I pointed to the front door and told her, "Feel free to leave, but the electronics stay here." I think the best word to describe the look on Bonnie's face was surprise. It was as if she had been transported to a new world where nothing made sense. She visibly calmed down. She walked over to the kitchen table and sat down across from me. Taking a deep breath, she asked, "Darling, could you please explain to me how, after we kissed in the evening and said, 'I love you,' before we went to bed and we have this shit show in the morning?" After thinking for a few seconds, I nodded slowly and said, "I lied." "You lied? Good. What did you lie about, honey?" Looking Bonnie in the eye, I told her, "I lied about loving you." I was surprised that Bonnie was able to control her emotions. A few moments passed before she asked, "Don't you love me anymore?" I admitted, "I'm not sure that 2 decades of love can ever be completely broken, but it's close." "Honey, I'm too confused to make sense of this conversation. You need to explain it to me in a way that I can understand." "I'd be happy to do that if you'd do me a favor." "I'll do anything, my love." "You know you would," Bonnie replied. "For the rest of this discussion, I don't want you to call me darling, sweetheart, favorite, or any other affectionate word. In fact, I don't want you to call me Chris." Bonnie actually grinned. She said, "It's okay. What should I call you?" I pretended to ponder her question. After a moment, I said, "Call me Mike." I watched Bonnie carefully. She must have been more confused than I thought because my obvious clue flew right past her. I continued, "I'm not going to call you Bonnie." "Again," I pretended to think, watching a strange, condescending smile spread across Bonnie's face. "Instead, I think I'm going to name you Ashley." Her smile disappeared almost immediately. I continued, "Ashley and Mike, Mike and Ashley. That sounds like 2 lying, cheating, married assholes. Don't you agree?" Bonnie's face turned ghostly white, and a second later she vomited her morning coffee and the remains of last night's dinner onto the table and onto her lap. Covering yourself in vomit seems fitting for a shitty slut. I suggest you take a shower. I'll be in my office if you want to continue this conversation. "Chris," Bonnie's eyes were pleading, "go take a shower and change out of your slutty clothes. You smell like a tramp." It was almost 90 minutes before Bonnie returned. She was wearing jeans, a shirt, and sneakers. She walked into my office and plopped into the chair across from my desk. She looked even worse after her shower. She smelled much better, however. "Chris, you have to believe me. It was just internet sex. I swear." I've never had sex with anyone. It was just stupid online nonsense. You're lying. No, don't say that. Since the day we got married, I've never touched anyone but you. I've seen it. I've seen the pictures, all 6 of them, 6 different roosters, different shapes and sizes, different colors, 6 men's hands on the same world-class ass. A world-class asshole with the exact same big bean-shaped birthmark. It was you, Bonnie. Stop lying. Just stop the damn lies. Bonnie bent in half and shook, crying into the palm of my hand. I let her cry until she stopped. She was about to say something, but I held up both hands to stop her. Now it was my turn to speak. I pulled out a desk drawer and pulled out a small stack of papers and held it across Bonnie's desk. "What's this?" she asked. "It's my divorce petition." "No," Bonnie screamed. "I don't want a divorce. Bill Murphy is filing the petition today. If you don't go into his office and officially sign a copy of the petition, you'll be served by the end of the week. What don't you understand? You don't want divorce." "I took all the money from our vacation fund," I told Bonnie. "I used the money as a down payment on a condo in downtown West Hartford. It has 2 bedrooms, so the girls will be able to visit me during college vacations." "How are you going to explain to the girls that you're ruining our happy family?" "It's easy, Bonnie. I'm going to tell them that their mother has been a lying, cheating wench with at least 6 men in the last 2 years. "You have to understand," Bonnie pleaded. "The kids are grown and living on their own. You're always on the road. I was bored. I needed some excitement. It was just sex. It didn't mean anything. Let me try to understand. So it's the kids' fault, and my fault that you became an online prostitute." "I didn't say that," she shouted. "Please stop calling me those horrible names." I laughed at the last comment and reminded Bonnie. "You texted Mike that you wanted to be a prostitute. Those are your words, Bonnie. You said." Bonnie asked, "How did you know? I was so careful." "You were careful and you never let me know that you hated me so much." Bonnie almost jumped up from her chair but leaned back and cried when I brushed her off. "You were careful, but your last sex buddy wasn't. His real name was Paul Kaplan. His wife thought he was cheating. She hired a private investigator who discovered your affair. She sent me a copy of the report. It included 3 videotapes of your last 3 dates." Bonnie continued to sob quietly. "I want you to know that I was able to identify 4 of the other 5 cheating buddies using saved emails. All of them are married. I'll give their wives proof of their husband's connection to you, including your name and contact info." After a few moments, I finished. "I'll be calling the girls, our parents, and siblings soon. I won't go into details, but I will tell everyone that I'm divorcing you because of infidelity. I'm not going to be the bad guy in this mess." 5 months later, it was late Friday night. I had just landed at the airport and was heading toward my new home. Since I hadn't had dinner, I stopped at a fancy new restaurant in downtown West Hartford. I sat at the bar, my plate was cleared, and the bill was paid. I was enjoying the last sips of Merlot when I felt a hand on my shoulder. The woman said, "I wanted to apologize to you, but I didn't know how you would take it." Recognizing the voice, I turned around and saw Kelly, Bonnie's slutty, man-hating friend. "Why do you have to apologize to me?" Kelly sat down next to me, sighed, and told me, "I think my sexual stories may have influenced Bonnie and contributed to her cheating." "Your stories?" I laughed. "You're probably right, Kelly. But it was Bonnie who created a complicated online life. Our breakup is her fault. I accept your apology, but it's not necessary." "She's a mess. I'm worried about her." "A lot of people are worried. I know from the girls and her father that she is seeing a therapist and trying to improve her life. I hope that continues." "Chris, I have to ask, is there any hope? Any small hope that you can call off the divorce and try again? Bonnie loves you so much." At that moment, I felt a hand on my shoulder again. Someone leaned over and said, "Are you replacing me already?" I turned around and smiled at Jana. Kissing her gently on the lips, I nodded toward Kelly and said, "I'd like you to meet my old friend, Kelly McGregor. Kelly, I'd like you to meet Jana Flynn." After the 2 women shook hands, I stood up, took Jana's hand, and said, "It's time to go." I smiled and said goodnight to Kelly, and Jana said, "There's no hope, Kelly. He's mine. I'm not going to let him go."